Hi, I'm Melissa with A Creative Journey with Melissa, and today we're going to be creating this really cute gift card holder. And it's so simple, it's like crazy simple, but the cool thing is not only is it easy, it's also recycling your packaging. So let me show you what you need to use. We have the die here, it's a Sizzix, it's a Jelly Bean Soup, the number is 659768. It's pocket with scallop edge, and this is what it looks like. Okay. We have scissors. We have your packaging that we are reusing. I'll show you that in just a second. A piece of paper here, just a little strip. We have some twine, ink. We have some foam squares that will give you 3-dimension on your little tag. We have a tag punch. You can use any tag that you have in your stash, or it's a good reason to buy a new one. I love those reasons. We have our stamp block, and of course we have our stamps. This is the Fall and Winter Holiday Sentiments stamp set by A Creative Journey with Melissa. That would be me. And this is a really great set. Not only is it great for the fall and winter, but it also has So Grateful on there, which covers anything that you want to be, sending a thank you note for, or to tell people that you're grateful for them, their kindness, their generosity, or just grateful to be a friend, whatever you want to use it for. Okay? So, now that we went through all that, I'm going to put this stuff aside because I don't need it all right now. All I need right now is to show you the packaging and how I got this, okay? Let's see here. Okay, so this here is actually the die packaging that it came in. So you can see it's got like it's like an acrylic type box, and I love it because it keeps it fresh, neat, and clean. But it's really too bulky for me to keep it in this. So what I do is I take it and I create sheets out of it. So I'll pull this out. And basically what I do is I cut, this is from a bigger package, I cut all the parts that I think I can reuse. So I'm going to give you a real quick example of what I do here. Okay. So I pull the adhesive off, I open this up, and I make it flat. That's what I do. It makes it easier for me to see what parts will be utilized the best. Okay. So the part here, even though you can actually wipe it off with the glue, you're better off not, because I personally am better off not, because I have tons of these and the glue doesn't always come off right, and sometimes you'll actually scuff it. So I'm just going to cut all the parts off that I don't think will be usable. So I'm cutting off the top and the bottom right now. Okay. Now, also what I do is I cut off this edge here, because this is where the adhesive is, for it to bind into the box it is. Okay. And I cut off this part right here. So I only cut off one edge. Now, this one's a little bit scuffed up. It may be able to be washed. I'm not sure. I'll have to check that out later. But you see how there's this adhesive here? And there's this here. I'm going to cut this right across again, just so I don't have any parts that are not able to be used. If you really want to recycle, you could keep this little part here for tags. And this you could keep for tags right here too, but I'm going to actually toss it. I do have quite a bit of it. So, throw that out. But at any rate, so you can see here, you could make a little book cover with this. Now these scuff marks here may or may not come off. I'm not sure. I'll have to check it out. The best way to check out to see if they come off is with alcohol, because sometimes it's adhesive, sometimes it's scuff marks and you can't. And if you want to reuse it, you can always use a little piece of paper to cover it up. I just love using clear, and I love to recycle this because it is such a great versatile thing that you can do. You could emboss it, you can die cut, there's so many things you can do with it. And if you've seen any of my old videos or previous videos, you'll see that I like to do this. If you haven't, check them out. There's a lot of good ideas, okay? So, what we're going to do here, now that you know how I got this piece, is we're going to just simply take my Big Shot. I'm going to put this aside. take my Big Shot, and we have the die right here. I'll get the die out. And again, this is the die. All you do is you're going to place your recycled piece on here. Okay. Actually, I'm going to put it this way because it's a little bit wider there. Okay, here we go. So we'll put it right here. And you want to make sure that the area that is covered, okay, that it's all covered here so that you don't miss any of the parts that need to be glued, okay? So we'll do this. And then we're going to put this right here. That's your first, my brain just completely stopped working. How do you like that? Here we go. We're going to put the little sandwich together so we have our items here. And we just are going to roll it right through. Okay. And you only have to we only have to roll this through with the platforms once. You don't have to do it twice. It'll be perfectly fine cut this way, as you can see. Okay, so you just take this part off, comes right off, and you still have some room on this to utilize for something else. But this is what we're looking for. Okay, so we're going to just put this aside. We don't need the Big Shot anymore. And the Big Shot dies do actually work with other dies as well. However, you just need to make sure that whatever die you're using is workable. Okay, now I'm using this white piece of paper so you can see it better. I'm going to wipe it off just a little bit with my finger just to try to get some fuzz off of it. It's not going to be perfect, again, because it is reused. I kind of like the look of it. If you do have a piece that's really scuffed up and you don't like it, but you want to use it, you can use an embossing folder, or you can even use a crimper after you glue it. You want to make sure you glue it first, otherwise you could have problems trying to glue it together. Okay? So what we're going to do here is we're going to take this out, and we're going to also take out this glue. This is a very strong tape. It is by 3L, and let me pull this piece off here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to first glue this side here and this side here. Okay? It's just like a little envelope. Alright? So what I'm going to do is take a little piece, take an approximate measurement, and just cut it. I can make it a little bit more specific when I get to it, just so I can have an idea. So I want to do this, and you really want to try to cut it as close to the edge as you possibly can. That way you can make sure that it adheres properly and where you want it to go. So that's good. And then we're going to cut a piece here, and it's about right there. I'm just kind of eyeballing it, as you can see. Let me just do that. Okay, put that aside. And right here, I'm going to place this adhesive right along the line there. Okay, it's a little bit long, so I'm going to cut it right at the edge. Okay, throw that little piece out, put my scissors on the side. Okay, so we're going to push it, make sure that the adhesive is on here really good, and make sure that we have this little piece here that we have to take off. You can barely see it, but it's like a pink or a red. I'm just going to use my fingernail real quick. Comes right off. Let me try it without the fingernail. It usually comes off really well without it too. Oh, it's the whole, I didn't push this one down very far. Let's try that again. I'll try it on this side. Here we go. Right like this. There. Okay, I think I used my nail anyway. I think it's habit. Sorry about that. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to close the envelope. So we're going to start with this. First I bend it backwards, and then I will bend it forwards because I think it really gives a much better crease and a much better it would adhere it much better. So we're going to line it right up there. Okay, and then we'll close this side and line this right up to there. So we got that part done. And then we're going to line this up all the way to the top. If you can see it. Okay. So we're trying to make sure that we line the outside of the pocket up to the glued part. Okay. I'll give you a little bit of close up there. You can see what it looks like. Okay. So now what you can do one of two things. You can push it really hard, or you can even use your brayer. I have a brayer out, so I'm going to use it for this. And you can just roll this along to make sure that it's really adhered. Okay? And that is your envelope. That is how simple it is. Now you can mass produce these. It'd be really fun to have on hand for you to create something. But what we're going to do now is we're going to do the decorating part of it, okay? So we will take out our paper. We'll take out our adhesive. We need the little dots here. And we also have some twine, okay? So first what we're going to do is we're going to take out my actual set of stamps. This is what I use, and you can tell I've used them a lot. a lot. They're my go-to set, actually. I love to use them. I think part of it is because I think that they really cover pretty much anything that you would need for the fall or winter holidays. So we're going to go with Winter Wishes. And that could be just for somebody that you want to give them something just because you want them to enjoy their winter. So now we're going to grab our block. I'm going to use the square one. Okay. Let's see here. Alrighty. And then we're going to take the Winter Wishes and we're going to ink it. You can do it either way, this way, or you can do it this way, whichever you prefer, but I am going to do it this way. Okay? I'll take this piece of paper and scoot this out of the way, and I can do it right here. And you press down, and there you have your Winter Wishes. Okay? So we're going to put this aside. We're going to take our punch out, and with this punch we're going to line it up on one side more than the other so we can add a little bit of twine to the edge like it is in the example. Okay? So we're just going to do this. Make sure it looks good, and you have your punch, and we're all set with that. We're going to take our little bit of twine and get our little scissors out. We can put our stamps on the side. I usually like to wrap it first before I cut, just because it's inevitable that I will cut it too short and it will not work right. So 1, 2, 3, and then I come back, and then I'm just going to tie it in a quick knot. For this small amount, or small space, I don't typically put a bow on here just because it takes up more room and it'll take away from the sentiment that I have on there. So that's one of the reasons why I'm just doing a knot. A knot is also much easier and foolproof, especially in my case, because sometimes I do not do very well with making bows. So we'll just cut this cutie right here, and we will cut this cutie right here. Okay. And then turn that just a little bit, make it a little bit tighter. Okay. We don't need the twine anymore. Put that aside. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to wrap this piece of paper around it. Okay. Now typically there's two ways you can do it. What I did was I wrapped the paper around and left the little part where it connects in the back. Okay. So this part actually connects to there. You could do it under here too if you don't want to have that unfinished look, which is what I'm going to show you this time. Okay. Okay. So what you do is you're going to take your envelope, and you want to make sure you leave enough space so that if it's a little bit thicker, that you don't make it too tight and it won't fit back over, okay? So we're going to do this, and then we're going to flip this over like this. Just leave a little bit of space here, just a little bit for the bulk, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some red tape, just a little piece. I'm going to cut it and then place it right on there so that you're sure that it fits. Okay, you take off the red part of the adhesive and you make sure that it fits right on there, and you fit it up, line it up so it's right straight. Okay, so that is what it looks like. Okay, now you could just simply take, you could just simply take your foam dots, foam squares, foam. I am a foam dot, foam square kind of girl. I call foam squares foam dots, foam squares. It just, honestly, it's a terrible habit, but someday I'll figure it out. At any rate, so we're going to put 3 right here so that it has a lot of support on that side. I don't need the 4th. We're going to take off this piece of paper here, this one here, and this one here. Whoops. Gotta push this one back down. This one's not adhering very well. There we go. Okay, that's better. And then we're just going to put it right on here. Okay? So it's a little bit offset like the one in the example is. And that covers that unfinished part that we have on this one. You can't really tell too much. If you really pay attention you might, but it's really not too bad. But if you want to have the more finished look, that's what you do. Okay? So then what you do is you just slide this cutie in here, and that is your finished project. Now the cool thing about this is that you can really put and change a lot of different things. You can put a gift card in there, you can put some little cute tea bags in here, you can do a lot of different things to add into this cute little gift that it could be. Now just so you know, I have a Target gift card right here, and this is to show you how much space you have to put in there, so you still have a little bit more space. For example, if you wanted to choose to put some paper inside, well, this isn't big enough. Here, I'll cut some real quick. It's not going to be very straight, but you'll get the point. You can put a little piece of paper in here if you wanted to show off something, and you could put it in like that if you wanted to. So there's a lot of different things you can do with this, but I really like the way it turned out. I hope that you enjoyed this video today, and I'm really glad that you came to visit us and took some time, because I know that your time is precious. Everyone's is. So thank you so much for joining us. Please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also our blog. We have some great deals and information that comes out through the email, or you can also subscribe through Bloglovin as well as email invite. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.